The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh I lie down in a green pasture. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I Rasta, I go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Uno prepare a table before I in the presence of our enemy them. Uno anointed I head with no oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy. I go follow I all the days of I Ivan. May I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Jah! I give thanks and I says unto your name, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. Amasa Yahuda, Amasa Negus, Daniel, Komaya Sataya. Ay manna pio aya. Kadama we grobabe te lo where 2 centuries meet in the name of the Most High Jah. That's so Jaja there. If Jaja never build up your house, the builder I go build it in vain same way. If Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman I go watch it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is safe. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. And I give thanks, Our mouse of Bolisa, a down water, and what a sickly for akpe. Member say he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Jah shall therein abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I give thanks. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Black Rasta. In every traditional African home there is a black pot, and each time this black pot rests on the fire, there is something sumptuous cooking, ingredients of so many different types and sizes, and of course different types of flavors and even colors find their way into the black pot, putting aside all differences in order to subject themselves to some kind of sacrifice to produce food after a good heating. Now, this food does not even benefit the ingredients. Not that it benefits the black pot. It benefits us, the eaters. So selfless, they would always produce food for us. Same way. Now, the black pot is very, very symbolic of the African continent. And the ingredients also represent us as a people. We must all put aside all the differences in our religion, our faith, our creed, and even shade of skin color, and come together and produce development for our people, our continent, our land. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Black Rasta. And remember, we are in the service of God and country. Yes, here we don't criticize. But if we must criticize, we'd only just criticize for one reason: to build and not to destroy. We are in the service of God and country. Here we don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. We are out on a journey to rewire the thinking of our people, the mindset. Yes. Now remember that we are no more in shackles. Those shackles, at least, are not on our hands and our legs. The shackles have been moved onto our brains. Propaganda, brainwash education. This is what we are out there to help unravel. My brother, my sister, this is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo. And remember, if the African mindset is right, every other thing will be righted. Is it surprising that every leader in Africa is just thinking about infrastructure? Yet the most important infrastructure, which is supposed to be built in the brain of the African, is totally relinquished to the background. That is the journey we are embarking on. Support us. Do business with us. Our numbers are flowing on your screen. And remember to also subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We are called Black Empire Media. We are also on other social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. This is the voice of the voiceless. This is the Black Pot. Kukushunemo. And my name, Black Rasta. First story we are looking at today is interesting. It says what? Government officials collapse at Independence Day parade. Every Independence Day, innocent children will be brought from all the schools in Ghana, in the various regions we have. We used to have 10 regions, now we have 16. They will come out and march in the hot, blazing African sun. No water for them to drink, no snacks, nothing at all. They march empty stomach, return empty stomach. It is sad. They do that every year. We spend millions of cedis celebrating this so-called independence of wickedness. Children come out. A lot of these children collapse. Some of them are sunstroked. But we don't seem to see that. And the interesting thing is that all the so-called government officials who attend the so-called independence celebrations, they sit under the shade, drinking and enjoying themselves. At least they drink water, whilst the children are standing in the hot blazing sun, drinking nothing. And when they collapse, they would always find a way of blaming some political party for all that. Now, this year, the tables turned. 360. This time, the children were not the only people who collapsed. Some other people collapsed. Watch this man in your photograph. I'm going to tell you more about him. Who is he? Is his face familiar? Do you know who he is? Run the story. Let's see where I go on. Watch. GES director collapses during Independence Day parade. Interesting. Interesting. Watch the story. What does it say? It says the Ghana Education Service, GES Director of the Garu District of the Upper East Region, Philip Frederick Alale, dropped unconscious during the 66th Independence Day celebration parade. It happened whilst Mr. Alale was standing on the dais with other dignitaries. Adum News' Holidas Dasmani reports Mr. Alale stood in the scorching sun for hours, and it is believed that might have resulted in his collapse. This was at a time a school cadet present to commemorate the day was displaying its drill skills, whilst the national anthem and other tunes were being played. The director was carried and rushed into a black vehicle which came to park in front of the dais, and he was rushed to a nearby health facility. That's the man you saw. Collapsed whilst talking. Boom! And parade had to end because director had collapsed. They carried him into a black car. Zoom! Gone to the hospital. Now it will teach some of these government officials a simple lesson. They said the Gomba proverb that I like so much. It says that the king who rides the horse does not know that the ground is hot. They who sit in the shade, they don't know what the little children are going through. In fact, even Muslims, when Ramadan comes, there are some years that Muslim clerics advise people in Boku not to fast. And this is the area. It is the hottest part of Ghana. Boku is the hottest place in Ghana. And the place in Ghana where you have the most rainfall is Axim. You know that, don't you? Now, the hottest part of Ghana is Boku. To the point that Muslim clerics can say, all right, this year, the way the temperature is going, do not fast. Or even when you fast, you break around this time. Things like that, we hear them every time. It's just to let the people there know that the laws can be considerate. So if these officials can sit under the shade and unleash these children into the hot scorching sun, then it's most unfortunate. He collapsed. But he wasn't the only person who collapsed. Another person collapsed. an MCE, collapsed. I'm going to show you a very short video. We will look at that video and see who exactly this person is. Watch it. Watch him. You can see that he's talking. Look at the policeman at the back. Look at him. The man is about to collapse. Hey, they are holding him. Now see what the policeman is going to do. Hey, the policeman comes to support them. The cameraman, he shuts down the cameraman and says, get away. You see that? Take it again. Yes, the man is here. He is talking. He's wearing his glasses. Hey, he's falling. They are holding him. He's collapsing. See, the policeman comes to help, but he's more interested in the camera. Stop the camera and boom. Dash it away. A government official delivering a speech to the parade, an MCE. Boof! He had to also be carried away. I am happy that they are tasting their own bitter medicine. These are people who would walk with umbrellas when they are going to inspect the parade for even 5 minutes. They hold umbrellas like this on their heads whilst they walk around, throwing around their weight, flaunting their peacock feathers and plumes. Whilst the little children have nobody holding any umbrella. Some of them are even marching barefooted. Imagine standing in the hot scorching sun. Not just standing, not drinking anything, not just that, but also swinging your arms and making sure that your brain works even in this hot sun so that your hands would all be the same. If somebody's hand is like this and yours is like that, you are disqualified. So you have to be alert and sharp in this hot sun. The money they spent in celebrating their ego. This is not independence, it's their ego. They could have used that money to at least buy shoes for the little children who came to the parade with no shoes. They could have used that to develop the water system in these areas. Just as the former CJ, Sophia Akufu, said, why don't we pick a certain district or city every year and say that this is going to be the independent city this year? Send all the money there and develop a certain infrastructure. It could be a hospital. It could be a road. It could even be a school and call it the independent school. But no, we will celebrate our ego. We will go there. Look at how the president arrived at the independence celebration in the Volta region, Adaklu. Helicopters were flying all over the place. The president came so weak and tired, he had to sit in a car to inspect the parade. What is that? What is that? Men of the forces and women, well dressed, all standing aside. And the little children, market women whose businesses are not going on well, they were all there to sing Yan Era Assassin. It hurts me, but my brother, I am still hopeful that this country can work. Genuinely, I believe that this nation can work. The problem of Africa is the problem of leadership. You cannot say it's the problem of resources. Leadership, the mindset. All our education is brainwashed. We do the theory so we can unleash heavy vocabulary on our citizenry. But when it comes to the practical, the thing that will turn the theory into action, nah. That's it. My brother, my sister, let's think about that. You are running to the IMF, yet you are celebrating independence. What independence is that? We'll talk more about this later. Dash it and bring me the next thing. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. National Cathedral pastors anoint ABLAKWA for more conquest. Hallelujah. You know the National Cathedral, don't you? Millions of American dollars were earmarked to be sunk into this project. they brought a Ghanaian British, or is it a British Ghanaian, whose father was a diplomat in the days of Kwame Nkrumah. They had gone all through Tanzania, gone through Egypt, Syria, and some other countries. You know his name, don't you? Don't you? Say, David Ajay. We all remember, right? David Ajay. He was the one who was contracted to design this demonic cathedral. That's the cathedral. He designed this. He was paid a humongous amount of money in 2 different tranches. After he designed the first one, they told him, oh, there's still a little bit of space. Can you design a little thing? Just adjust yours so that you can fit in that space. He charged another big chunk of money. Yet he made us believe that he was doing it almost pro bono. Oh, this is my country, you know. How could it be your country? You are a hypocrite. He's British Ghanaian. He's been knighted by the Queen of England. He owes more allegiance to the people of England than he owes to Ghana. These are some of the things that I say some people don't understand. Anybody with a dual citizenship, before our nation would develop and be the way Nkrumah wanted it, we must have Nkrumah's mindset. You cannot look into the eye of a needle with 2 eyes. It's not possible. One eye must go blind so you can look into the eye of that needle. Close that dual citizenship and hold one citizenship. It doesn't matter how hard it is. Bob Marley said the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Necessity is the mother of invention. And again, if you know that you belong to 2 different nations, you are always reluctant in the middle. If this doesn't work, I am here. I don't really care if it doesn't happen. But if you know that this is the only one that you have, you would go from heaven all the way down to earth to ensure that it works, because that's the only one that you have. That's why I said necessity is the mother of invention. But when you are spoiled for choice, you behave like David Ajay and the rest of them. Some people don't like it. They like their British citizenship so much. I have a sister who says, I will never give my British citizenship for anything in the world. Yes, I pay taxes and I have to go and enjoy it. Really? Okay. Enjoy it. Go and enjoy. Go and enjoy. It's good. Continue. My brother, my sister, until we play that patriotism card, we are in trouble. Nkrumah didn't have a dual citizenship. Some of us were invited to hold dual citizenship. Ghana, America. We said, no, sir. The best I can do is to take a green card so that I can go in and out. In fact, residence. There's no problem if you have residence. But remember that all your taxes are paid here. Remember that this is your home. By taking dual citizenship, you know what you have done? You have sold your birthright. Citizenship is like a birthright. Some people ask me, how about if my mother is American and my father is Ghanaian? Hey, make a choice. Even in our local traditional setting, we are asked to make a choice if our parents, father and mother, are coming from 2 different ethnic groups. You must have one. If your father is from my area, Sisala, and your mother is Akan, you must make a choice. You cannot, what's your ethnic group? You can't write Sisala Asante. Dabi. You are either an Asante or Sisala. That is the spice of life. It's division of labor. So that we all can give our support where the support is going to go. Don't let us behave like bats. It's neither a dog, though it looks like a dog. Neither is it a bird, because it has feathers. Think about it, brethren. National Cathedral pastors anoint ABLAKWA for more conquests. So that demonic cathedral, they spend the taxpayers' money to design it. But like the Bible said, it's a man who started building a house and he didn't look at how much it will cost. He just went into it and he got stuck for lack of money. Is that person not a fool? That's what the Bible says, not me. So it has exposed these leaders. The president has been running helter-skelter, looking for money to build that demonic cathedral because he promised God that he would build him a house if he made him a president. Interesting. So he must build that house for God. But God is an interesting entity. God is making sure that it will not happen. Just like the pyramid of Cheops. How many of us know the history of Egypt? Egyptology. Cheops worried his people, beat them up seriously to build him a certain pyramid so that when he died, he'll be buried in there. You know what happened? They built it. He cracked the whip on them. They worked night and day. They built. But when he died, they didn't bury him there. You are dead. We will see if your dead body can bury itself. The people that you beat, they are those who are supposed to bury you. We will see if they will bury you. They didn't. My brother, my sister, I don't see this cathedral being built in the lifetime of this president. Nah. I'm not a prophet of doom. But I don't see it. This economic crisis. One man who has been fighting this cathedral and fighting injustice and fighting rot is this man here. Okujato ABLAKWA. The guy with the bald head. That's him. He is the member of parliament for North Tongue in the Volta region. In fact, I love him. He's gained my respect over the years. He's grown into a very matured politician. Yes, and that's what he's doing. Remember, he went from tracking the president's flying spree. Yeah? His dromomaniac character. That's what the president was doing, flying around aimlessly. And then he went into other issues. Recently, they tried to bring him down with some faceless group that came out to try and attack him. One blow sent all of them back to hell where they came from. This is Okujato ABLAKWA. And interestingly, this man has been doing his oversight duties as an MP to make sure that the rot in the country is done, dusted, and blown away. He went into the cathedral and realized that no, they were rather building a brothel. A brothel, a den of thieves, a den of criminals. That is not a cathedral. A cathedral that smacks of so much corruption. He went into it and started exposing some people. Even their secretary, allegedly, has two faces, 2 different dates of birth, 2 different mothers, 2 different things. You know what it means to say thing? Tax, identification number, right? He realized all this, brought all these things out, and the people are there crying. Crying. His church was fighting this man down. But interestingly, the key members of the cathedral board, Otabil, blah, 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 including my own action boss, and I'm talking about Archbishop Duncan Williams, Lenche himself, all of them pulled back and said, hey, if this is what is coming out, stop building the cathedral, stop everything. Let us investigate this rot, finish it up before we go. Now the matter is in court. The secretary who supposedly has 2 faces, ran to the court and said, contempt of court, jail ABLAKWA. To jail him? Interesting. I thought you would rather come out and say, all he's saying is false. This is this, this is it, this is this. By now they are there blowing tongues so that he will die and they can continue with their nasty, nauseous, nauseating activities. But look at this photograph. They are praying for him. Hallelujah. Powerful men of God. And the power is that, you see, this man is bald-headed. So every hand that touches that head goes straight into his brain. The spirit, that is the Holy Spirit, goes straight in there. Come here! Deal with that camera. Hey! Look at the people praying for him. In fact, I like the man at the back there. In fact, he looks like Crunchy Ankara. Hey, chairman himself. Hey, Jesus. Hallelujah. After praying, he has to write down the prayer points and take it home and continue firing in tongues to protect the MP, to continue fighting rot. Now, when you look at this, it's interesting. It looks like they invited the pastors, and then when it was time to chop small, some people took it away. I feel noche mfo kaka chomi. Acrobatic. So the other pastors are confused. How come there's so much money in this project? And we didn't see that. We might not necessarily need it or want it, but at least this is supposed to be a godly project. Why does it smack of corruption? This is my own Reverend Dr. Tete. Yes, powerful man. Hey, look at them. So they all met ABLAKWA and prayed for him. In fact, when ABLAKWA was going, he didn't tell anybody. After they prayed for him and he took all the anointing, he came to write on Facebook. Look at what he wrote. He wrote it all. Watch. Early today, I honored an invitation from the leadership of Ghana's apostolic movement to offer a comprehensive briefing on matters relating to the National Cathedral scandal. The deliberations were extensive, transparent, and frank in the best interest of our dear nation and our Lord's kingdom. I also received special prayers asking for the Lord's fortification in the pursuit of what they described as my exemplary parliamentary oversight. I am profoundly grateful to these revered ministers of the gospel, always for God and country. Dash! Now, Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng was not there to lay hands on him for obvious reasons. He wasn't there to prophesy either. This is the man with two mothers, allegedly, and two different teen numbers. At the same time, two different dates of birth. Jesus. He went to court, asking the court to jail the man. He's not ready to give out the truth. He's ready to have him jailed. When he's jailed, he will go to church and say that you shall not touch the anointed. You see he's in jail, this man shall not go to jail. Now all your colleagues have run away from you, sir. They've all realized that you are in bad business. None of them is supporting you. Not even your own very good friend, the Archbishop Duncan Williams. Now you are on your own. This is the Black Pot. Come here, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. My brother, my sister, come here, I said. This is the Black Pot. And when we return, we got more. Hey! Wayo!
Black Pot. Kukushona.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushona, where we speak truth to power. Come here, my brother. Come here, some man. Next thing is rolling on your screen. Remember to go on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called the Black Empire Media. Oh my God. Have you seen the documentary we released on Kwame Nkrumah? The desecration of his legacy. If you haven't seen it, check our other channel. Subscribe to that channel as well and click on the notification button. It's called the African History Class. Deep. This is the Black Pot. And watch this. It says Michelle Obama's tears as Trump's presidency begins. Add that. Okay, leave it like that. Bring it back. It says what? Michelle Obama's tears at Trump's presidency. That's okay. It makes sense. So it means Michelle Obama as Trump starts his presidency. How? But that's a long time ago. When Barack Obama left the White House, Trump came in, but Trump is not even there anymore. Why did she cry? What exactly is it? But who is Michelle Obama? Oh, wow. Beautiful woman. There was a time there was a propaganda around that she was actually a male. Some said it was a hermaphrodite spirit that was in. Everybody was saying anything. In fact, when you are in the public space, people will say everything nasty about you. But you can't take it from this woman. Very brainy. Very sharp. Strongly Pan-African. This woman. Very, very, very powerful woman. Powerful. I'm tempted to tell you a story about this woman before we start something. Let me tell you. Listen, she went to school, right? When she went to college, there was a lady in there. I'm going to spare you all the details. Who didn't want to share rooms with her because she was black. This is a black woman going to the same room with a white woman. The white woman didn't like it. She found a way of trying to move out of the room. Unfortunately, that was the only room available. They were not so close. She saw some of the things that the girl was doing to her, but she kept it cool. Finally, she found a way of getting herself out of the room so that she would go and overload another room. They tried to bring somebody else from a different room and join that person to her. Unfortunately, she was one of the very few black girls on campus, if not the only black person. You know what happened? She and her original white roommate did not have a good friendship. So the whole thing ended like that. Then she became America's first lady. And this white woman sat back, said, wow, if only she had known. By now, she would have been receiving letters from the office of the first lady. That's a strong black woman. She told her story in her memoirs. This is a woman who has gone through racism. A woman who has stood black. Why did she cry? Now you will understand it better. I've given you a background. Go into the story. This is CNN. It says, Michelle Obama opens up about her uncontrollable sobbing. You know what it means to say sobbing? That's sobbing. I don't know how you call it in Cree. I don't even know how to say it in Hausa, let alone Ga. Michelle Obama opens up about her uncontrollable sobbing. Somebody says, sobbing in Cree or him, or him. Okay. Michelle Obama opens up about her uncontrollable sobbing on day of Trump's inauguration. My God. Please come here. Hey. Washington, CNN. Michelle Obama broke down shortly after leaving then President Donald Trump's inauguration. The former First Lady candidly shared in a new podcast as the emotions of having their families home after 8 years and resentment over Trump taking office overwhelmed her. Wow. So you see it. the man coming to take over their home of 8 years, and that it is no other person but Trump. When those doors shut, I cried for 30 minutes straight, uncontrollable sobbing, because that's how much we were holding it together for 8 years. Obama said, referring to a final trip aboard the presidential airplane. The fresh revelation of Obama's experience came in a clip of The Light podcast, which launched on Audible Tuesday. The podcast audio comes from the former First Lady's recent book tour for her third book, The Light We Carry, which reflects on how she's dealt with relationships, self-doubt, and anxiety during uncertain times. It captures conversations from a visit to 6 cities with all-star moderators like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, David Letterman, the Conan O'Brien, to promote and discuss the best-selling book. Obama confirmed she wasn't in a good mood, but she had to hold it together. There were tears. There was that emotion. But then to sit on that stage and watch the opposite of what we represented on display, there was no diversity. There was no color on that stage. There was no reflection of the broader sense of America. Just leave it there. And that's where I'm going to end it. Look at that paragraph. I need you to look at it. There were tears. There was that emotion. But then, to sit on that stage and watch the opposite of what we represented on display, there was no diversity. There was no color on that stage. There was no reflection of the broader sense of America. That's what Trump represented. When they were in the White House, according to her, they didn't represent any color. Black and white, anybody could come, but Trump was all white. They would chase all Muslims out of America. They would shoot them with pig's blood bullets and so on and so forth. They would chase drug Mexico out of America and so on and so forth. Immigration became terrible. That's what Michelle Obama is saying. No diversity, is all white. She was hurt that such a person was going to be the next president of America. And the last line there says, there was no reflection of the broader sense of America. Dash it out. Dash it. That's it. Come here. A racist had become president of America. A racist had become America's president. She couldn't believe it. That reality dawned on her and it broke her down. She wept after the door closed behind her. She sat in the plane that, bye-bye, you are not returning here. It's done. Unless you, Michelle, become president one day. Or one of your children becomes president and then you are asked to come and sit in there, maybe cook food for your grandchildren. Jesus have mercy. My brother, why did I pick this story? We have a lot of such characters in our lives. But I have a word for you. You know I'm a preacher, man. Listen. You are not wiser than God. Sometimes we work so hard, yet we have so very little. Like the Christian churches will say, you work like a donkey and you eat like an ant. Are you wiser than God to tell him that, God, can't you see I'm working like a donkey and I'm eating like an ant? Maybe if he makes you eat like a donkey right now, you would have indigestion. You have a bloated stomach and die. So he will let you eat like an ant so you can save. Interesting, isn't it? Look, in life, there are so many people we meet. Even in school, we study very hard. We are sharp. But these people don't study. They are there fooling and drinking and womanizing. When the results come, they are always on top. And you want to say, what? Is there God at all? You work very hard in school, crack all the grades, pass all the papers. You come out, you don't get a job. Interestingly, the day that you have a job opportunity, you are going for an interview. On the way there, the only shoe that you have is opened as if you say, I will drink water today. Oh. Will you wear this to the interview? You still want to go for the interview. You go and sit down. The same person that was your enemy in school is the one who is interviewing you. You were far more brilliant than this person. And you know that you are not going to get the job. Some people can't take it. They cry all day like Michelle. But if you understand seasons and you understand the power of the Almighty, you do not let those things worry you. For instance, we have been on the scene. We make all the very beautiful music. Recently, we got a whole attack on us. And when people went into the music, they realized that, no, this guy is truly doing some good music. Like Kwesi Pratt said, Kwesi Pratt Jr., with all love and respect, said some time ago, he said, reggae music has been turned into noise these days. The only person keeping it musical is BLAKK RASTA. But how much are we earning? Are we worried? No! It's the principle of seasons. This is the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kuku Shodomo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we got more. Hey! Wayo!
Black Pot, Coco show them.
This is the Black Pot. Dash it and bring me the next thing. Next story says what? Watch it. It says, pay taxes before asking leaders for accountability. Who is saying that? Oh, okay. Nana Akufo-Addo says that citizens must pay taxes before asking leaders for accountability. If you haven't given me anything, how do you come to me to ask me for accountability? I support him. It makes sense. It makes sense, yes. My brother, we live in a country where people are stealing from the government. They don't pay taxes. I've always maintained, pay your tax. It doesn't matter if the government is stealing the money. You do your part. Two wrongs don't make a right. If you don't pay your taxes, you have no moral right to come out and moralize it on anybody. No, you don't have it. You have not given me a garden to look after. Then you come and you are asking me to tell you how many potatoes are in the garden and who uprooted what. I'm not a watchman. It might not be the best of the examples, but a responsible citizen must pay all the taxes. We have officials who connive with businessmen and women to reduce the taxes so they can steal. How will the nation grow? You have no moral right to criticize the government if you are refusing to pay your taxes. That is true. Mr. President says, pay your taxes. Let's look at the write-up. And this is from My Joy Online. It says, pay your taxes and demand accountability from leaders. Akufo-Addo tells Ghanaians. Roll the story. It says the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, is advising Ghanaians to pay their taxes and demand accountability from their leaders. According to him, this is one of the means through which Ghanaians can protect the democracy and development achieved so far. Dash it away. It's the truth. You are not paying your taxes. Your taxes are one of the major forms government can raise revenue. So when government starts running around and begging and borrowing around, you say you don't understand. You have to pay your taxes. But government must not make taxation or taxes the major form of making money or the only way of making money. You have all the gold, you have all the diamond. Can you find some other creative ways? Maybe blanketedly, you could just say, oh, taxes. But what the president is trying to say is that, have you contributed your quota? In this country, the loudest are those who don't pay their taxes. The thieves make more noise than the humble ones. Juloe. Look at Nam1. When Nam1 came and was doing his business, and boom, government came in and closed it down. In fact, the people who made more noise than any other persons were those who didn't have any penny in Nam1's business. Hey, pay us our money, thief. Julo. Hey, pay us our money. Fiafi, depending on where they come from. If they are from the Volta, Fiafi. If they are from Gamashi, oh, Julo, Kwe. Meanwhile, when you check it out, they don't even have a penny in there. You understand? They say what? That empty barrels make the most noise. And rolling stones gather no moss. When are we going to be those rolling stones? Rather than the empty cans that are making all the noise. We must find an activity to do so that we will not go rusty. Think about it. Why are you not paying your taxes? The tax net is so narrow. We don't even have the data to deal with all these things so that everybody pays the taxes. Anyway, Mr. President, much as we say it's important to pay taxes, not everybody is like BLAKK RASTA. Some of us are hurt that we will pay tax and you want to build a dirty cathedral. Some of us are hurt that we pay the tax and you are flying around like a man who has gone crazy. Some of us are hurt when we pay taxes and you operate a family and friends government. And when we talk, your cousin, Gabi Asarochidako, comes to tell us if he doesn't employ his friends, should he employ his enemies? Such arrogance. Such arrogance. Meanwhile, they have dual citizenship. Gabi was born in Chelsea. He holds his British passport. Right? That's what we're told. He was born at the time that he was given a British passport. Has he renounced it? No. So when Ghanaians are speaking, people like Gabi should not be speaking. They are not Ghanaians, they are British. No, please, let's be fair. Today, if there's a bomb in this country, you are in England. We are those who are going to be here and struggle to douse the fires. Let's be honest, let's be fair to each other. You owe your allegiance to the British people. Let those of us who are Ghanaians, please, put our shoulders to the wheel. You come here and make a lot of noise, because your uncle is the president. Yet at the end of the day, your allegiance is in Britain. Mr. President, all those things hurt us. That's why we are speaking. How many African presidents have their sons and daughters and grandchildren in America? Their allegiance is in America. They have citizenship in America. Look at the Liberian president. His son is an American citizen. And he will fly all the way from Liberia with the Liberian people's tax money to go and greet his son, who is an American playing for the American national team. How does that benefit Liberia? Let's be honest. Dash. Bring me the last thing and we are done. This one is going to take just a few minutes. Independence of dependence. Our independence is that of dependence. The independence, no. Fahu die no. How do you say dependence? To depend. That's how it is. It's a mockery. Our independence is a farce. It's a fleeting illusion. It's a paradox. It's an irony. Am I the one saying that? No, sir. Oh, I know this man. Is this not Uncle Kojo Yankson? I know him. That's him. What is he saying? Oh, okay. It's a tragedy. We are celebrating our 66th anniversary and signing a dependency agreement with IMF for a bailout. Professor Kwesi Yanka. We are celebrating 66 years of independence, yet we are signing a dependency pact to throw our freedom out so other people can control us. Africa for you. Former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Kwesi Yanka, has stressed that there is a need for the country to have a talk on how Independence Day is celebrated. In his view, it is a tragedy for the country to be signing a dependency agreement with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, when it's been already 66 years since the country gained independence. I think we should use this day as a day of recommitment, rededication, but I am not seeing much. It's a tragedy that we are celebrating our 66th anniversary, and then we are signing a dependency agreement with the IMF. Kwesi Yanka said in an interview with Asase Radio on Monday, March 6, according to the academic and author, it is unfair to be parading young school children to march every year, especially when it has been beneficial to the country. It has not been beneficial to the country in any way. 66 good years that we've been celebrating independence. Have we really sat to reflect on this day beyond just having school children going to march? I think we are giving the children a raw deal. It's the same thing I said, right? Just go and march. Dress well. Eyes right. All over the place. What have we gotten right in Ghana since we attained independence? By the left, mark time. Joe boy, Kaliwawa, Kaliwawa, Bature, Kaliwawa, Korechi, Kaliwawa, eyes right, like that. You all look right. I remember in those days, eyes right, some of us were looking left. And you go back to school and they will ship you. Not giving you water to drink. No snack. The people that are supposed to turn right and salute, they are there drinking water and enjoying themselves. You school children who should be drinking water, you are walking. Then you go to school and they whip you again for not turning at the right side to salute them. He continued to lament. What is wrong with Ghana at the moment? We should sit Ghana beyond aid down. What do we mean by that? Is it just a slogan? I think we should lament and commiserate that on Independence Day we are in this mess. It's sad. I'm crying. My children are going to grow up in this. They will also go and march. My children came to me 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They needed new white socks. For what? They were going to march in the dust. I should buy white socks for you to go and march in the dust. As for the small one, she came to the house and started, hey, left, right, left, hey, hey, hey. And she was excited about it. She will go and collapse in the sun, no water, nothing. And if she doesn't turn at the right place, she will go on the ship. Ghana, please, the Ghana Beyond Aid is what? Our independence. Remember, Nkrumah said in December 1966, via Radio Conakry, broadcast to Ghana, that we were on the verge of attaining economic independence when those fools took power. Those cowards, the so-called National Liberation Movement. How did Nkrumah call them? He called them national liars. Whatever. On this note, I want to say, keep the spirit alive. We shall make it. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube page. It's called Black Empire Media. Click on the notification button. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Do business with us. Support this brand. It is the most formidable brand of Pan-Africanism on TV. Remember, we are live on Pan-African TV, also live on Loud Silence TV, live on Black Empire TV. We are also live on Ghana Web TV. I love you. Via satellite, we are seen all over Africa. Hey! Wayo!